Hello everyone, welcome to the fifth problem session of CmpE 150. Today we will solve two problems and they are like some case studies for you to be able to analyze some data. And this data will be about, on the first question about baseball players and on the other question we will analyze some data about movies. On the first question, we will use list structures, and on the second question, I'm gonna combine lists and dictionaries in a single question. So let me read the instructions of the first one. We are given a text file that shows several statistics about baseball players, and every line contains data coming from a single player, and elements on these lines are separated by semicolons as follows. We have player's name, team identifier, games played, at-bats, runs scored, hits, doubles, triples, and home runs. And we should write a program that takes an integer and a request. And for example, if we have the max hits request, it should, and the tree number, it should give me the it should give me three names, and these names should be the names of players who have the maximum three hit values. And for batting average and slugging average, we will also compute some values, and we will also use them as inputs, as some requests. So as you can see below, I have my text file, and it is separated by semicolon and the space as separators. So let me open this file in read-only mode. This is in baseball text, and I can type R as F. And I am creating a list to define all of the line as a single element of a list. So line R strip or line in F. Then I am creating a list as data. It will be a nested list which symbolizes. So if we have elements as a list, then it will be a nested list. So it is a nested list. And for example, on the element with zeroth index, it will have the list which contains all of the elements of Alejandro de Aza. So we have the element Alejandro de Aza, CWS, 153, etc. So L split semicolon on space for L in lines. So let me print this data list to visualize it. So as you can see, we have the list as the first element. Then we have other elements in this list. So as you can see, we will make some numerical operations, but we have all of our values as strings. So we should modify our string numbers to integers. To do that, I'm writing a for loop for I in range len data, and for j in range, for example, data 0, because they are all the same. They have how many? From 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 indexes. So in total, there are 9 elements. So for I in range data 0, I can change my data I j with data in the integer form of data I j. So let me print this modified list data again. Sorry, there's a mistake. Sorry, I have forgotten something also. I have tried to change a string also to a number, because we have Alejandro de Aza and CWS here as strings, but I don't want it. So I can write to here. Sorry. No, it's correct, I think. Yes. So what I have done, I have begin with 2 because 0 and 1 symbolize the indexes of words, so they are also they will also remain to be a string, but I should change other variables starting from 2 and ending at the length of this list. So the length is 9 because it contains 9 elements, and it includes lastly the 8th index. So 8th index is, for example, for Alejandra de Aza is 17. This is the last one. So it is a correct operation now, and I can go on uh, by some numerical operations. So for k in range, or I can it will be the same for loop. So I can write my code in this bigger scoped for loop here. So singles means that I am taking data I think 5 because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Data I5 hits minus data I6 as doubles minus data I7 minus data I8. So what I have here, hits minus doubles minus triples minus home runs, as you can see in the hint. So let me go on with total bases. It is singles plus 2 times doubles plus 3 times triples. Then I should compute the betting average. It is hits divided by at bats, which is on the 0, 1, 2, 3. And then the slugging average, which means total bases per data I3. Again, total bases per at bats, as you can see. So I've computed the singles, total bases, betting average, and slugging average for this single player. So I can extend my list here. The data I should be extended with singles, comma, total bases, comma, betting average, comma, slugging average. So now I have a new list. I can print it to show you. Sorry, that was a mistake here. Here. Okay, no, it works. Sorry for that. The land. Oh, okay. Okay, so we have 9 elements, so we can use 9 here. And as you can see, we have some extra elements like slugging averages here, betting average, total bases, and singles here. So now I have extended my data list, and I should make some comparisons also here. To do that, I need the hits, betting averages, slugging averages, and also players. So I can write 4 new lists here. Player list, for example, is the list that should give me the data I for I in range, then data, sorry, data I 0. Yes, it is on the 0th index. And then I have the hits on the 5th index as hits list. And I can write the betting average lists, which is on the which index 9, 10, 11. Okay. And then at last, the slugging average list. So now I have my player list, hits list, betting averages as follows. So for example, I can print the player list as an example. As you can see, I have all of the players' names on a single list. So why did I do that? Because I need to compare some values in these hits, betting average, or slugging average lists and I need the indexes of these values to obtain the player's name here. So if I take an request as an input and an integer n as an integer input, so I can define a function as max giver or yeah, max obtainer. And request can be named R. I'm changing this by num to make a global variable and Rn. Okay, so R is the request and N is the num here. So if R equals max hits, then I can define a max list, and it is the hits list. Else if R equals max betting, then max list is equal to hits list. Sorry, betting average list. Else if R equals to max slugging, then max list is equal to slug average list. So what will I do with this max list? For I in range n, for example, or for x to make it a variable, not to be a global. So for x in range n, I need n times maximum numbers, and what will I do? I will take the index of this maximum hits or maximum betting, etc. The index in the max list of the maximum number of this list. So as you can see, I am taking the maximum number of this maximum list and then taking the index in the maximum list, and then I am printing the player with this index from the players list. And then I am deleting player list index and also max list index. And why am I doing that? Because I have a single operation now, and if I take the maximum now and then delete it, then I have the remaining list, and then if I take the maximum of this remaining list, then I have the second maximum. So I can operate it by using a loop here. So if I delete them at the end of my operations, then I have the players which have the nth number of maximum the nth maximum hits by statistics. So if I write maximum hits, then it's my max list is hits list. Then it uses the hits list as max list, and the max list gives me the maximum number with the function max, and I take the index, and then I print the player's name with this index, and then I delete the player's name and the max its value from the max list to show that I have the remaining list, and if I take the maximum of this remaining list, then I have the second maximum, and it goes on like that. So max obtainer request comma num represents this function here. If I run this and write maximum hits, then it gives me the correct output. Let's try it for the maximum betting average. It is again correct, and for the maximum slugging average, it is correct again. So I defined the function here because it will be it's a more proper way. And I defined this max list because if I didn't define it, I had to write this for loop for all of these hits, for hits list, for betting average list, for slugging averages. And as you know, coding is a simple way to make efficient and short operations. For example, in this data and analysis method. So I have written something like that to show you the code in a smaller amount of lines. So I think this is clear. Then I can go on to the second question. In this question, we will deal with a CSV file. It is separated by commas by original. So CSV means CS means comma separated. So we are given a CSV file that shows several movies' names, publishing years, and genres. Every line contains data from a single movie, and it is separated by commas as follows. Write a program that takes a request as an input. So if this request is a movie's name, then it should print its publishing year and genre. If it's a genre, then it should display all movies which are produced in this genre. And if it's a year, then it should display all of the movies which are published in this specific year. So this list is not a list. This file is a hypothetical file. I changed the years, but I think they were all published in 1995. And sorry for that misinformational data file, but we are using this file to make some data analysis operations. So it is not very important if it's true or not, but in real life, it is also really important. So let me begin with this question. In this question, I will try to write my program by using dictionaries because I should show some good and understandable examples for these dictionary types. So let me begin with opening this file. It is named mode data CSV in read-only mode as F. So I am writing the same code as the first question. Lines, line, R strip for line in F, and data L split. Now we have only commas for L in lines. So I have my data here, and I need to make some nested dictionaries which represent first the global dictionary represents some keys as numbers just like this 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And the nested dictionaries in these the local dictionaries should give me the keys as movie, genre, and year, and I can put the values of these keys using this dictionary. So as you can see, my data is in this form right now. So I have the number here, and then the name, and then the genre here. But the year information is on the same element with the movie's name. So I should manipulate this. I should modify this data type to separate them. To put them into a dictionary by separate values, by separate keys. So for I in range len data, so I can get my genre first. This is more clear. Genre is equal to data I 2. And then I can take the movie's name by separating data I 1, and I should split this. And I can use a split method just like that. As you can see, there is a space and there's a parentheses. And I'm writing this space and parentheses, and this gives me a list. So I'm writing the zeroth index. So this first element is the movie's name. So I'm taking the movie's name here. To obtain the year, I can only take the first index here. But the interesting thing is, and the important thing that I should pay attention to is that this gives me the year, but not in the ideal form. This gives me the year just like this one, 1995, and then we have a closing parentheses. But I do not want it, so I can also replace this closing parentheses with a blank item, so it's automatically deletes this one. So to show that, I can also print here if it is true now. Yes, it is on the correct form, as you can see. So I am creating a single movie. I can dict. So this is a single movie dictionary. It has the movie key, which has the movie value. It has the year key, which has the movie year value, and it has the genre key, which has the value of genre. Then I should define here a general movie dict, or write the mdict. So this is the dictionary which has a higher scope here. So mdict I is smdict. So I can directly write smdict here. Not using smdict, directly mdict here. Okay. And let me print this mdict's final version. So as you can see, I have 0 here. I can also write +1 here. Yes, because it should start from 1. The first key is here as 1, and its value is a dictionary which has 3 keys named movie, year, and genre, and it shows me the movie's name, the year, and the genre of it. So now I have a dictionary which contains all of the data coming from this CSV file. So then comes the challenging part. If so for j in range mdict here, or sorry, starting from 1 and ending at len mdict +1, because mdict keys start from 1 and not from 0. If it starts from 0, then I can basically write in range len mdict. So for this one, if and I should take input, sorry, I can name it rec as a request. If the request is equal to mdict j and movie, then it should print this movie's genre and publishing year. Else if this request is a year, then it should print the movie if the movie is published in the given year. And else if this is a genre, then it should print also the movie in this genre if it has a matching value here. So now I can test it. I submit with a year. And as you can see, it gives me all the movies which are published in 1992. And let me test the other types. Like if I add Toy Story, it should give me animation at 1995. Yes, as you can see, it is correct. Animation 1995, correct. So if I add animation, it should give me the Toy Story and Balto. Animation. Toy Story, the first one is here, and then comes the Balto animation. Then there are no more animation movies, so it ends here. So I think it is clear it's a more basic uh, operation than the first question. So that was all for today's PS session. If you have any questions about my solutions or some further inquiries about the problem sessions or other things related to the course, please do not hesitate to contact me via email. And I will see you next week on the 6th PS session. Have a nice week. See you. Yeah.